What's up, guys? This video is not sponsored by McDonald's. It just happens to be a place that I could pull over and do this video that came through that gets to be talked about. So a lot is going to be happening and has been happening with our human bodies, and we've been programmed to think of our growth in the physical sense as something that happens, again, when we're born, and then once we reach kind of puberty, it's kind of the end of our physical growth. And from one perspective, that can be true. But from a much higher point of view, that's looking at growth in a very limited way. Because while that designates part of our physical growth correlates with our consciousness growth. As we grow in our awareness and in our states of consciousness, our physical body literally shifts as well. And the limitation, again, it's not right or wrong, but the limitation was just looking at things with how the Western medicine paradigm labels things, labels disease, is kind of like looking at someone's talent based on an SAT score. And it's like, you know, they could be an artist, they could be an architect, they could be a painter, they could be something that's not in the small box of this is what smart is. It's the same thing as in Western medicine. Oh, you have these symptoms, this is labeled as this is what disease is. We're really going to start to awaken to the fact that just because Western medicine has labeled things as certain diseases in our bodies doesn't mean that the list of characteristics and the list of ways to heal it or to get rid of it are actually the only thing that exists, right? It's like people think that that's the only way, right? They think that that thing that we call the flu or pneumonia, or that thing we call acne, or that thing we call COVID-19, or the thing we call cancer, is exactly how it's been defined by popular society when it's not. That's just a very limited point of view, and often a point of view that doesn't have your best interest at heart. It doesn't have your multidimensionality, your true divine essence at heart at all. And just you more as a consumer that is prey to and that can benefit people who sell you the cure to these things, or that sell you the solution to these things, whether it's pharmaceutical drugs, chemotherapy, whatever it is, or more doctor's appointments. So I say this because, again, just like we physically grew when we were little children and into puberty, our bodies are shifting physically in correlation with our states of consciousness shifting. So a lot of people, including myself, the last year, it's been very intense, but even the last couple of years, when you become conscious of this shift, you're going to be experiencing a lot of body sensations that if you went to a Western medicine doctor, they may diagnose as something scary or dangerous, or they may not diagnose you with anything and say you're fine, and then it will kind of lead to you thinking that you're crazy, something's wrong with you, when nothing's actually wrong with you. You're just shifting into higher states of consciousness, and your physical body is literally shifting from a more dense carbon-based state to a more alkaline, crystalline state. So again, there's going to be a lot of shifts and a lot of diseases and a lot of bodily sensations in the human body. And people who benefit off of labeling it, like, again, a lot of people in the Western medicine community are going to be very quick to label it as something. Oh, this is COVID-19. Oh, this is this. This is that. You need to take this to get rid of it. When these ascension physical symptoms literally don't need any healing, active healing to be done. They just need to be felt. emotions that have been stored in your body since the time you were very, very young are going to start to come out, because we're at a point in human history where the green light has been turned on, the go, let's go light has been turned on. There's so much higher frequencies pouring onto this earth that we're on right now that our bodies are in this shifting process. And for a while, if you're unconscious of this, you can be getting sick. Like for me, I mean, you know, my body has undergone many, many things. I had my appendix out. I had all kinds of weird things happen to me, you know, years ago when I was more unconscious. And that was my body still rising in states of consciousness, still physically changing, but because I was so resistant to it, because I was so unconscious about it, it was more significant, more jolting shifts, if you will. Now that I'm more conscious of it and more in alignment with the physical shifts that are happening in my body and that are happening to us all collectively, they're still intense at times, but they're not life jolting, right? They're not, you know, crazy, like, you know, appendix out hospital shifts like that. So my point is, you're not going crazy if you're feeling all these body sensations in your body and you're feeling all these emotions that are coming up in you that you perhaps thought you handled, right? Perhaps, you've had like really bad jealousy before in your life and you thought you healed your jealousy, or you thought you healed your depression, or you thought you healed your food binging, but now ever since like 2020, it's really been ramping up again. You're like, holy shit, I thought I got rid of this. Why is it coming back up? Because it wasn't fully gone, and it's coming up now to be healed and to be cleared and to be felt fully. So again, I'm kind of throwing a lot at you now, but as you become more conscious of this path, then it will make more sense, because again, human beings right now, us, you, me, we are going to be experiencing a lot of different things in our bodies. And again, you can play in the Western medicine game if you want to, it's not wrong, but it's not going to be a full understanding of what's going on with you, because again, we're multidimensional beings going from a third dimensional consciousness to a fifth dimensional consciousness. And Western medicine only has you look at yourself as a 3D human being that that treats the symptoms and not the root causes of things. And right now, the medical community that's kind of running the show, that's eventually going to collapse, you know, it's going to take a few years, many years, but eventually it will. They don't look at the root cause as an emotional cause. When the root cause of all disease is an emotional cause, is just trauma, is just energy stuck in the body that hasn't been cleared yet. And a lot of people hang on and have chronic disease because they're in such resistant mode to feeling those emotions, to dealing with that trauma, and they literally construct a life for themselves where they don't have to feel, where they constantly are numbing out through food, through coping mechanisms, through shopping, through porn, through busyness, through suppression, through sedation, through distraction, through social media, etc., 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 etc. So can you be compassionate with yourself and really open up your mind when the next time you feel uncomfortable body sensations, the next time you have any kind of disease in your body, and start to connect with this part of you that knows what I'm talking about. Connect with the part of you that knows what I'm talking about right now. You may not consciously understand what I'm talking about right now, but start to tap into that part of you that does know what I'm talking about, that's connecting with what I'm talking about right now. And I promise you, you'll no longer have to play in this small box of you tested positive for this. This is what you need to heal your body. This is what you need to feel better. This is what you need to do. Because a lot of the times, you don't need to do a goddamn thing. We've been programmed to think that if we don't do something about the uncomfortable sensations, bodily sensations, dis-ease in our body. If we don't do something, then number one, it's going to get worse. Then number two, if we don't see a doctor, then again, we're going to die or something really bad's going to happen to us. When a lot of the time, and again, use your own intuition, but I'm telling you, a lot of the time, these things just need to be felt. These things just need to be felt and loved, and they will just pass through your body. And that's kind of the natural healing state of the human body as we move into higher states of consciousness. So I hope this video helps. It's been pretty intense the last month, and I mean the whole, friggin' year and last year. But these things will start to come to the surface more and more so. And again, watch how certain industries want to throw a label on it, being like, this body sensation, this test positive means this, when again, we're really going to be seeing the illusory nature of labeling things like that, when that's coming from a perspective that doesn't encapsulate all that we are. So I hope this helps, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you soon in the next video. I'm going to get a cookie at McDonald's. I still have stuff like that sometimes. This is another thing, be gentle with yourselves. I used to be vegan, I used to be strictly gluten-free. The more compassionate and the more loving you can be with yourselves at this time, and the more you can stop judging yourself. Notice, like, if you even judged me, like, for getting a cookie at McDonald's, like, again, I understand, but at the same time, it's like, that's just a judgment that is still held in your field. There's so many people in spirituality communities and like green juice communities is what I call them, that have such rigidity, and we're gonna have enough to worry about. Our bodies are going through enough right now where if you're craving a cookie like I am right now, not to just have yourself a fucking cookie. So that's my little rant on health and on food and on being gentle with yourself. So I love you guys. Take care. I'll see you soon.